Hello, welcome to Once Upon a Failure. My name is Leslie Alfredsson and I am so happy to see you. It's Friday. It's almost weekend, and I think the best way to start the weekend is by sharing stories of failure. And we welcome you to the second episode of Digitalisation Once Upon a Failure, where today's theme is when it just didn't turn out the way you have planned. It's like when we have these expectations that things are going to go one way, but sometimes it go completely different way, as it happened last time actually at Once Upon a Failure. But we always learn and we always improve. And you know what? We all make mistakes. Some opt to cover them up and never speak about them again. But you are not like that. So you see failure an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to bounce back. And that's why you are watching this show. So today, guys, we're going to share, as I mentioned at the beginning, stories of failure. Those that have, dare to innovate, and they have learned in the process, and they are here today to share with us these stories. So I would like to welcome our first guest of the day that has a very interesting story that she's going to share with us. So let me start by introducing her. Let's start. Maria Stellinger. She is the Chief of Digitalisation of Malmö municipality. Maria is an experienced leader with the ability to get managers and experts to reach their full potential. The common thread in her assignments has changed and developed by breaking down barriers and working cross-functionally. She does not wait in on difficult issues and succeed in the change work she implements. So we're super happy to have you here today. So I can see you. Are you there, Maria? Are you ready?
Introduction. Let's see now, because I think my slideshow just went off. There it is again. So I'm very happy to be here, and I'm going to try to share one of my experiences where we just continue until somebody tells me something else. Okay, so there is no sound.
Just give me. I will. Yes. Let me.
Okay. I'll just wait and see what will happen.
Yeah, sometimes things just go weird. So, but we are going to fix this right away and see what happens.
Yes. Now I don't hear you, Leslie, but I guess the important thing is if you
yes, I can hear you. Yes. So just go.
You can hear me. Good. So I'll start again. So you're familiar with. So, but just skip the.
I think now it's working, right? I think now it's working. So please, guys, let me know you here, because now it should be working. Yeah, you can continue, please. Yes? Can you hear me? Yes, you can move on. Yes, we do. Yeah, yes. Yes, we hear you. Yes? Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, I don't know. Okay. Let me remove the presentation. I don't know what is really happening. Can you hear Can you hear, guys, Maria now? No. No.
So it wasn't that then. Yeah, like somebody says, Liselott, should we try with Karsten?
Yeah, but it's, I don't know. It's, I don't know what happened today, guys, again. Let me see. Yeah, how sometimes happens, guys. Okay, can you talk now?
I will try. Let's see.
Guys, can you hear us now? No? Okay, so let me think what we can do. I am on echo now. Oh my god. We test this, guys. I promise you. Now it's working. Is it working now? Can you all guys listen to us? Now. I hear someone say now.
Okay, you can hear me now. Okay, good. Okay, I had prepared a presentation, but I will just skip that because it was, yeah, well, we'll try if it.
Yes, let's try again.
We'll try again for the fourth time, talking about failures. This is fun because you have to try stuff in order to learn. So now it's a lot of echo for me, but I hope you can hear me without the echo. So you're all familiar with the situation of the corona. And in the city of Malmö, we are 26,000 employees. And suddenly there was a lot of echo, I can hear that. And there were a lot of, no, the echo is gone. Yes. And maybe you can hear me. Yeah! Perfect. Everything turns out fine in the end. Well, the situation was that we were all supposed to work from home if we could, and 26,000 people did not fit into our system working from home. So we had to do something real fast. We did not have the capacity in the system for more than maybe 3,000 people working from home simultaneously. And in came our heroes from the IT department, and they implemented a solution in 2 weeks, including testing. And this is something that normally would take maybe 6 months or something. So we were very happy, and we rightfully cheered those people from the management team of the lovely work they had been doing. And here everything was fine and dandy. But this was not a solution that was distributed automatically, and the users needed to install it by an app. And all the project managers were on top of it, and they said, oh, we are creating a one-pager instruction, so it will be fine. It will just take 2 seconds to implement this new solution. But in came a brave colleague who started to question our plan for implementation. She tested the manual on a colleague, and he looked a bit like this. This is not him, but he looked a bit like this. And it was really painful to watch the movie that she made. of this person trying to do the right thing by reading this manual. And we realized that even if we had this wonderful solution, we were on the verge of disaster. And why? Because we forgot about the people. And with that, a lot of disasters could happen. The current remote solution could crash if too many people started using it. Our help desk would have to deal with maybe thousands of calls, which was something that they were not cut out to do. And even if a lot of people succeeded in the end to implement this new solution and download the app, just think about the loss in productivity while doing this. People sitting there maybe for an hour trying to do the right thing, calling a colleague, and if you time that against a lot of, well, maybe thousands of employees, that would not be good. So either it wouldn't be working at all, or it would be working, but at a great cost with loss of productivity, and maybe some people wouldn't even dare to try to start to work from home because this was too complicated in their notion. So what happened? Well, the thing is that our brave colleague, she didn't stop at pointing out the problem. The solution she came up with was as simple as brilliant. So she simply filmed herself going through every step of the installation. And she posted this film on our intranet. And people could watch the film on their phone and being taken through the process step by step while doing it on their computer. And it's still by far the most viewed clip ever on the internet. I think it's got about 4,000 or 5,000 views. And usually it's like maybe 10, or a really good film could be like up to 100 or something. So this was really a good solution that she came up with. And what did we learn from this thing? Well, first of all, investments are wasted if they're not being used. It doesn't, digitalization just starts with technology, but if people don't use it and implement it in the right way, nothing will be gained. And also, we saw that we have to involve different skills from the start, even when it is to something that we think is just a technical solution. It doesn't, those IT technicians, they were really heroes who could do this so in such good quality in such short amount of time. But we should have involved those people who think about how people react from the start. And we should always identify and involve the user. And we usually think about that in the city of Malmö when we work with, all those with the citizens. Because then we have a user, we think this is the end user, they are gonna try to use this this service that we have, e-service that we have made for them. But in this case, the user was somebody internally in our place, and we didn't even consider that there was such an end user. And another thing is the importance of creating a culture of openness. Because this hero colleague, who was brave enough to point out, I think you're going the wrong way, when we in the management team were so happy about what we have achieved, that this is going to be so great, now we're going to be able to work from home, everybody. But she dared to stand up and point out that this is a good thing, but we need something else. So that kind of openness is one of the key success factors to achieve digitalization in a large, or for that sake, a small organization. And also another lesson is that keeping it simple is really good, because you don't have to do some very, when she found out that the user is not going to be able to do this, the solution was really simple. She just took out her phone and filmed herself going through the process. You don't need those really big manuals or those really big solutions. Sometimes it's just on the tip of your fingers to do something really simple to change a situation from becoming a disaster to becoming a success. So I think I went through it quite quick, maybe because of the debacle with the sound from the beginning. But I will be here later on after our other speakers for questions, for more lessons to share. And if you want to know more about what we do in the city of Malmö, you could follow us on LinkedIn, where we have a page called the Digitala Malmö, and we post a lot of films and stuff from our journey towards digitalization. Unfortunately, most of it is in Swedish, but there are some films actually in English too. So if you are able to read a lot of Swedish, you will find a lot of stuff, but you will find some things in English as well. And if you want to get in touch with me, you also have the opportunity to either connect with me on LinkedIn or email me on my email address. So thank you for listening in.
Yay. Thank you so much. And guys, thank you so much for being so patient and nice and kind.
Now, but I guess nobody else can because I think you're muted.
We want to say, guys, thank you so much for your patience. I mean, it has been like we have been really trying to do this like
I guess the other people do so.
We are really happy. No, Maria, now I'm taking the stage to welcome to our next guest, and I say thank you to you because I can hear you, and I want to say thank you all of you for being so patient and helpful and cheering us up, because of course we're trying to do things different. Now I'm using two platforms, and I am so happy, guys, that you are still here. But now I will be happy to introduce our next guest. So our next guest is Karsten Deppert. Karsten, he is entrepreneur, a community builder, and is involved in co-working, sustainability, e-commerce, and food. So I would like to say, hey Karsten, how are you? Welcome to the stage.
Okay.
Welcome.
I'm up next.
Oh my God, what is that?
How this goes. Okay. So yeah, I'll do the second presentation.
What's happening now?
Mindpark. And
hello.
Yeah, I can just start. Rather.
Okay, just wait, Karsten. Something is happening here. Your microphone is really messing with me. Because it sounds like you're a monster.
Oh, I'm not. I don't want to be a monster. I'm quite nice, people say. So I'm more nice. Sound is perfect, they say outside.
Guys, can you hear now?
Let's see how it goes. Is it still sounds good outside, or how is it outside? I guess it's a different.
Yeah, it sounds good. So you can just move on.
In a backstage room, so
yeah, you can just move on.
I'll keep an eye out on the chat and see if people are complaining about the sound or not.
Just move on.
It's perfect. Okay, we'll see. But yeah, so Karsten Deppert is my name. I'm from Mindpark. What is Mindpark? Mindpark is co-working, but not just co-working. Actually, we also do all kind of other things. Like we do events, and we have a lot of meeting rooms for people to use and creative meetings and stuff like that. We try in general just to do to make the business life more smooth and convenient and fun. That's kind of what we do. But we recently did an experiment on a digital service, and I was thinking I would talk about that. Yeah, we'll see how that went. Okay, so what did we want to do? We said, okay, we have co-working spaces, but it would be interesting to actually also be able to work from other places than just co-working, because we know that people who are at our spaces do this. We have our own cafes and bistros at our spaces where people sit, but we also know they sit at other cafes where they sit in hotel lobbies and stuff like that. So we thought, why not combine this into one service and make it possible to actually sit at different places, and you get, it's like being part of a co-working space, and since you get coffee at different places, you can sit at them, but you just open a lot more venues this way. So that was what we wanted to do, and then we decided what to call it. We said we call it Co-Pass. Felt like a okay name, so we said we go with that. We are a very experimental organization in general, so we try to test things. That's kind of how we work. So what was the idea? The idea was to have one app for multiple locations. To test it, we said we'll start it out in Helsingborg because that's the place where we're the most established and where we have the most connection with different cafes and hotels already. So we talked to a lot of different places and said, hi, would you be interested in testing this? People will sign up to this, they will have an app, they will show the app, they will get coffee, and they can sit from there and work. And they can also, if they want to, actually buy breakfast already, and then they can just check in with the app and then they get breakfast as well, and stuff like that. So that was kind of the idea, to kind of make this like a co-working space, but at a lot of different places instead of just at one hub in that sense. So we started out, of course, we talked to some people first and just say, okay, what do you think? And then we started building an app. We applied for grants from Almi because it's a digital development. So we built an app, a fairly easy app, trying to keep it as MVP as possible, but it should still work because otherwise it's a bad app. So we built that, and that of course took some time and some back and forth to do. Yeah. So how did it work? It actually worked fairly simple. It was like this: you sign up on the website, at our website. We made a mindpark.se/copass. You went there, you sign up for the service, then you choose how you want to pay for the service. You downloaded the app, and then you could just start by using it to check in at different places. And then you were checked in for 4 hours. We said at one place. So if you check in somewhere, you can be there for 4 hours, and you can actually check in to the same place multiple times. And this was from early user feedback that we were like, but I would like to sit at different places. How do you want to do this and stuff like that? So that's why we said initially, okay, we make 4 hour pass at a time, so because that seems to be okay with how people would like to use it. And we also said to the different cafes and hotels that, like, okay, you need to reserve a table or so that when people arrive, they also always know that they will be able to sit somewhere and stuff like that. So like that's one part of the service that you can actually be there if you arrive there. How did it go? We got a lot of attention to it. So when we released it, there was a lot of actually newspapers within this field who think co-workers are interesting, or who think digital nomads are interesting, who actually wrote about this and said, like, okay, this is a cool new concept. So it got a lot of attention. It also got a lot of attention on our LinkedIn, where like a lot of people said, oh wow, it's a great idea and stuff like that. So that was really nice, of course, that people loved the idea and that it was something which people felt would be very interesting. However, as everybody knows, what people like and what people do, that's not always the same. So how did it go? Well, this did not happen. So what did not happen was that people actually used it. So a lot of people liked the idea of using it, but when we kind of tried to get them to actually use it, it wasn't that many. It was a couple of people. So we had like 8 or 9 signups in total, I think. So it was like a couple of people who said like, okay, this is great. This is something I would like to use. But when we also checked the data, even those who signed up did not use it a lot. They used it fairly infrequent, maybe like once or twice a week they used it. So it was fairly infrequently used, and a lot of people just liked the idea, but did not really want to sign up in some way. What did this make us do? We of course made some changes. So one of the first things we realized was it might be a little bit too complicated. It's a new service. So we actually put some effort into making videos, how to use it, which we, for example, had on Instagram and LinkedIn and other channels. So like, okay, this is how it works, just to explain the concept, because it is a new concept. The new concepts are always hard to understand directly. We also added a 5-day free trial where we said, okay, like test it, because we realized, okay, people are apparently not really willing to sign up as easily as they just like the idea. So okay, can we do that easier? So we said, okay, we'll make a 5-day free trial, just so that people can try it for free without any sign up or so. And we did some other tweaks as well, just to kind of try to figure out, okay, how can we do this better, and how can we get more people involved in using it? But yeah, so what did we learn from all this? We still haven't gotten it to work. We are currently evaluating it, how we want to do with it, and probably will not continue with it. there's definitely things we could have done differently, but the big lesson is don't take what people like for what they actually will do. And this is, of course, not any new insight, but it's very easy to confuse these two things. We did it as easily as possible for us, which is both good and bad. Of course, it's good to do things very easily for you, because then you can test it easily. It doesn't take a lot of commitment and time or money. But the drawback is also that you always feel we could push this a bit more. Okay, what if we just had spent more time on it? What if we had spent more marketing on it? Would it then have worked, for example? So it's very hard to kind of draw that line. Okay, when is testing enough and when is testing just not enough? So how do you actually know this? That's a very hard thing to know, and I think we learned some of that now, but I don't think we have learned that completely yet. There's definitely still lessons to be learned, and where do you draw the line? When have you tested it good enough, and when have you tested it not enough? So that's definitely some of the things we've learned from this. So yeah, but that was my presentation. I did a little bit more briefly as well, so that we have time with Liselott and the discussion afterwards. And if anybody wants to get into contact with me, you can easily email me, Karsten@mindpark.se. So that's fairly easy, or just mindpark.se, and you have the information.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, and with that, I guess it's over to next person, Liselott.
So, guys, oh my God, first, before we move forward, and then I will have a Liselott that is going to be our last speaker. First, I want to ask you guys to send some support in form of emojis through the chat. Because it has been, I promise you guys, I'm a little bit sweaty, because it has been like this, like going on back and forth, not knowing what is happening. But this is exactly what is about digitalization and trying new tools. You think that you have tested everything, but sometimes things doesn't go as you plan it, and it's everything about bouncing back. And so I hope, guys, you can send us some support, some hearts, some cheers through the chat, so we know that you are still there and you are supporting us in this event. But now, before we move forward, I will have the pleasure to introduce our next guest. So we have Liselott Lading. Liselott, she's an experienced change manager with expertise in digital transformation and data-driven agendas, proven track record of inspiring teams and individuals to achieve great results, unafraid of operating in new and uncharted business areas, making sure that digital transformation is first and foremost, and business transformation involving humans as well as technology and business. Liselott is currently working as business consultant at Stratiteq. So I want to say now, welcome Liselott. Welcome Liselott. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Waiting for some confirmation that I can be heard both backstage and on YouTube, and we have like a 10 seconds lag out to YouTube, so I'm gonna react a bit slow here, but just waiting for confirmation given. Thank you. I'm also live on YouTube. Hi everyone. It's really interesting. From the backstage, you cannot hear what Leslie says when she introduces us, which is interesting because I have no idea what she has promised. But hi everyone, my name is Liselott, and I'm super happy to be here. And I am quite an experienced speaker, and normally I will take on a topic of mine without a second thought. But this one was a bit different, because I am going to share with you things that I might normally not share with people in my business network. So therefore, I might also have violated the structure that we were given before this presentation, and for that I apologize, but it was needed to get to where I want to be. So what was the initial idea? Well, in my career so far, there have been so many failures. So many, they're countless. Actually, this is the third time that someone asks me to speak on a fail seminar. I guess that says quite a lot about it. But to name a few, or actually 5, I did introduce the Scrum methodology right into the start of a huge 3-year project. And for a large group of developers too. So from start, they needed to be divided into multiple Scrum teams and in the need of collaboration. And this was in an organization where stakeholders were not used to work in an agile methodology. So probably this was the most complicated introduction of Scrum in history. And for everyone who was a part of it, I do apologize. Second, I've been in boards where there has been no basis for me to change anything. So quite useless. Third, I thought that for a person like me, there would be no like internal politics to care about or any glass ceilings in larger companies. I was wrong. Fourth, I have actually left my own company where I was the co-founder, not because I wanted to, but because we no longer could agree in between the co-owners. Fifth, I have met teams so dysfunctional that I just could not fix them. Despite more than 15 years of experience as a manager and with every toolbox that I had in my tool, there was just no way for me to fix it. I failed and I almost got burned out trying to fix it. And also on top of this, I mean, I work with data-driven solutions as a consultant on a daily basis, and I am a mother of teenagers. So my life is designed for mistakes, I would say. Well, what is it that I have been trying to achieve? Well, the common thing that I've always tried to achieve in all the challenges that I've been through is to bring a vision come to life. I do that in most of my work. I see a vision and I strive for it. My communication skills, they are all right. So it's not that I cannot communicate my vision to my peers, because I can, but they are often quite big. So big that it will disrupt something in a good way, but it is demanding both for the people and for the businesses that are involved. And resilience towards change can sometimes be huge. So what went wrong? Well, I mean, really, nothing went wrong in that case. Yes, I mean, in the moment, things can be devastating. You know, I have resigned from good positions. I have thrown myself out without knowing what will happen. I even left my own company, and I have had countless of meetings with stakeholders trying to defend a change when everyone wants to revert back to known paths, and so on, and so on, and so on. And in the moment, that can really feel like mistakes. It can make you cry. It can make you angry. It can make you frustrated or just like emptied on energy. So what did I learn? Well, really, a few years or even sometimes only a few months down the line, I can see why things have happened. What I have been pushed to as a consequence of what happened. And every time it's been a new journey with new learnings, and I'm very grateful for those pushes. So I know that the topic of the day is failure, but in hindsight, I look at them as learnings. And with increased age and wisdom, I am getting better and better at seeing challenges for what they are. As they happen. They are just challenges. They don't affect me in the same way. I am being less attached to what is happening and the outcome of it. So how can failure be avoided? What is my advice to others? My advice to others is don't avoid them. Yes, they can feel really tough, and you need to make sure that you have enough faith in yourself so that you don't add your personal worth into either the mistake or the success of your career. You are not your career. What you can do, however, is to understand your own patterns. So I know, for example, that I am a very curious person. I can see the way forward in almost every situation. And sometimes this means that I go into situations where I think I can change something, just to realize later down the road that I could not. So perhaps I am getting a bit better at evaluating where I put my energy and where I put my drive, because those two are gifts. As one example, I resigned in the spring of 2021, like less than a year ago, to become my own consultant. In my mind, I built the job description that I want, and then I hired myself in my own company and decided that these are the things that I want to work with on a daily basis, and these are the questions that I want to drive side by side with my work. So I was going to be a consultant, and guess what? Not even 3 weeks after that, Stratiteq calls me, a consultancy firm in Malmö. They called me and they wanted to meet. And in that meeting, they offered me my job. I mean, almost exactly the job that I had made up in my mind for myself. And this time they offered it in an environment with 120 colleagues and an office in Malmö and an office in Stockholm. So really, it was a really easy decision to join. And here I use this experience that comes with all these learnings when I work with clients. And this is yet another journey that I'm on. It will be filled with both failure and success, but I'm quite sure I wouldn't have landed here if I hadn't first just set myself free and decided to be a consultant. So my summary is that the most important thing that I have learned is to surrender, really. And I don't mean surrender like lay on the sofa and do nothing. I mean trust the process. That whatever is happening for a reason that I might not understand in the moment, but I will understand later. And that one can push for things and you can want things to happen, but then you can take 2 steps forward and then just pause a bit and see what is coming back to me, what wants to happen, so that I bring my energy to where it's welcome. I think it's a lifelong process to learn how to surrender, but here is my definition on the screen on what I am trying to live by on a daily basis. No judgment about what's going on, no expectations of the outcome, and give up the need to know what happens tomorrow. So take something that you're trying to push for at the moment, something you're working on. Are you living by these principles? And this is really coming from a person that others describe as very goal-oriented and very committed. And yes, I am. But nowadays, I am in less need for things to happen in an exact manner or in any exact way. As I said earlier, my curiosity is probably my main driving force, and this curiosity will always take me to places and topics that are for me yet unknown. And for that, I am extremely grateful. And I hope I will forever continue to make my mistakes. I just won't let them influence my self-worth. Thank you, and with love.
Thank you, Liselott. Now, give me a sec and I will gather everyone on stage. And oh my God, I mean, really, today has been like a day for me to surrender, because sometimes things are not exactly as you want. And I will add as well Jessica to the stream. So yes, could you please add as well your voice? So you can help us to read the questions from the audience, so I don't have this sound echo coming. So can you help us, Jess, with this, please? So now we are all here. So the audience, so I don't have this sound echo coming. Yeah, you see, it's the sound there. So, can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me now?
No, I hear you, yes.
Yes, with sound echo. Oh my God, it has been really exciting day. But now we have here Jessica. Jessica, can you help us with some questions from the audience, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see. I think going off what Liselott was saying, it would be interesting to hear how also Karsten and Maria have been working on a personal level in terms of how to deal with these failures.
Should I start? I agree totally with Liselott that it's also a question about maturity. When you're young, you sort of tend to take your failures more into your heart, or maybe. Some things that we deliver to our citizens that we can't fail while doing, but we also have a lot of internal processes where it's quite good to be able to prototype and test, and I think that has been one of the best journeys in my 4 years in Malmö, where we're trying to digitize the city, is that we have learned that it is okay to fail and it is okay to prototype. So embracing that and creating a culture where it's okay to do it and okay to discuss it, I think that's the way to look upon it. Yeah.
I can only elaborate on that, and I think like I was taking your talk, Liselott, and moving that forward. I think the important thing is that you of course need to embrace failure, but I think you also need to work with failure as a group. I think that, or not just you. I think it's very easy that if you fail as a person or you fail with something, and then it's very easy that you draw the wrong conclusions if you don't talk to others about it. So I think if you fail, you need to talk to people. I think and it doesn't have to be a group in that sense, but if it's a group, it's very easy, or just talk to other people, because I think it's very easy to fail and you think you know what you did wrong, but you only know that in your head. And often when you fail, what you think you did wrong was that you did something wrong. And very often when you fail, you didn't do anything wrong. Others did something wrong, or you planned it wrong, but it wasn't you. It was just coincidences which made it wrong. So I think realizing that you're probably not the fault, you automatically assume that you are. So talk to people about failures. That I think is important. Let's see if we have more questions.
No more questions from the chat right now. I think all you guys did such a great job describing your failures and your personal journeys when it comes to making mistakes. It's been amazing listening to you guys.
Okay, so I just want to say thank you for your patience, guys, and I will just say thank you for all of you for watching this time. And well, we are here to fail, to learn from mistakes, and I think that next time will be even better, because this time, I must say, this time we managed to have the presentations as you asked us the last time, so now you were able to see the presentations. Now I have to figure out for next time how we will not have this echo that has been bothering all of us. So thank you so much for being here. I wish you the best.
Question that's on in the chat now. Who wants to start?
Yes.
You want to start, Liselott?
Yeah, Liselott can start.
I don't know if they can hear us either. We can talk and then we'll see if it's live or not.
Yes.
Exactly.
Just have a nice fire chat.
Yeah.
I would actually have loved to get someone like a coach or something. Actually, that's why I wrote the manuscript the way I did it. Like someone telling me these things that, and also like openly share what they have been through, because you know what might seem like a really big mistake when you're in like your teenagers, then if you put that into perspective. And so, and I don't think I really had that. I don't think I had people around me that would share things that had been, I guess it's also a question about generations, right? That maybe the older generation wouldn't like to share their failures, but so that is it. I wished that, so that's what I can do for younger people now. I can do that. I can tell them about failures, and I can tell about how they have affected me, and also I can tell about the learning that the surrender lesson that I just gave. Or that's my take. What do you say, guys? Karsten?
Yeah, I would say, as you said, I think you do mistakes earlier in your life, and you think, well, this was a big mistake, and then you realize 5 years later that was totally super small thing, but you still think the mistakes you do now are big. So I think it will just be that way. Sometimes along the way I learned that you should embrace being nervous, and I think that helped me a lot. So I would tell that advice to my younger self, that like whenever you're nervous, it's actually a sign of something good. It's a sign about that you will learn something. Either you will learn because you will manage it, or you will learn because you failed, but you will learn. So nervousness is a sign of you're outside your box, you're in a learning position. So I think just having that mindset, that actually made a lot of difference for me. So knowing that earlier would have probably helped me more.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say embrace the humanity in yourself and the rest of the people, because if you feel nervous and afraid of stuff and really feel sometimes even shame for not succeeding in something that you really set up to do something really good about, other people feel like that too. So opening up to those questions in a team, for example, I think that's key to being successful yourself, but also helping others. And if you've got a good team, you're probably people from different ages and different backgrounds, and you can have a kind of a mentorship within that team for people who are younger and starting their careers. And we all want to do so much, and we all want to succeed, and that's very human, and it's very human to feel like it's not nice to not succeed. But like I think you said it, Karsten, and when you look back on some of your failures that you thought were failures at the time, they might not even have been failures, because that would have been the tipping point to pushing you into another direction, which is where you want to be. So I mean, it's an eternal human voyage, learning, failing, and developing whilst doing it. And I think we need to be generous to our peers and being generous to our friends and our co-workers, and in helping each other out to see those what we feel like failures, to see the opportunity of growing and doing something else in a different way, because otherwise we wouldn't have known that this path that we took was a bad path. Then we would go down that path again, and that would be bad. So embracing it, like you said, Liselott, is a very good idea. But I think you can't stand alone. You have to trust your co-workers and your friends to cope with everyday and big failures, for that matter.
And just to add to that, because I totally agree, also is to let the emotions be there when they are there. So, because, as I said, a failure in the moment can make you cry or angry or frustrated or whatever. And those feelings, I guess, just embrace them while they are there, because they're also part of the learning journey. So it's not, because I think at least sometimes I'm too fast at going, okay, so that was a mistake, what should I learn, and go very logical in that process. But if you allow yourself to actually feel the emotions, you might integrate this in a more deep way, what really happened. So allow for the feelings while they are there. Just don't shove them under the rug, because they will come back.
A very good point. And a part of being human, as I said, that you have your feelings even at your workplace, and that is okay. Of course, we're there to do something, so we can't dwell on it too long, but it is okay to express feelings in that environment as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so since we're talking about advices, so give me an advice, because today it was like a very hectic show. So guys, give me some feedback from this failure. What did you learn from this session?
I think the feedback should be what Maria and Liselott said. You shouldn't draw the conclusions right now. You should let it go. It's okay. And then next time or next week or so, then you can like say, okay, how do we do it? I think when you're in the moment, I think it's actually, as mentioned, it's very hard to actually draw conclusions, and you're so in your own mind. It's so much is your fault, and that's like how it is. It's always, but that's never how it actually is. But you always think it that way, because you are the center of your own universe. It's natural. You always see your own things you could have done better, but you don't see what other can have done better unless you actually take a look.
+1 on that one.
Perfect. I totally agree.
Okay, so I will say this very fast. Thank you, because we have this echo coming. So I just want to say thank you guys for being here today. Thank you guys for watching. And thank you, Jessica. And see you again next year in March. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.